Today is our 5th class and we will, without wasting time, let us start. Are you all able to view my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please don't respond in chats. If there is a question that need to be asked, please tell me, because when I am explaining things, I may not see the chat. So please, if anyone needs to say anything, they can ask. So today is the 5th lecture of cybersecurity. We will learn about network address translation, transmission media, and information security codes. These are the 3 topics that we will learn. These are again part of networking. I think all of you have learned networking earlier also. So you all must be having an idea about network address translation, transmission media, and information security codes. Let me ask anyone, does they have any idea about network address translation? Some network address translation is some kind of translation. Each and every IP is having an address, or each and every machine, each and every PC is having a network address. We can define network address as an identifier for a node or host on a telecommunication network. So this is the definition of network address. Now if we talk of network address translation, then network address translation allows to access. We can say that, let us first, before sharing screen, I want everyone to listen what I am saying about network address translation. Actually, to access internet, each and every machine is having, or each and every device is having one public IP is needed. Why it is called public IP? Because it needs to be distributed to other persons also. So public ID is required. But we can use a private IP address in our private network also. Like in college, this is a sort of private address. Or in my home, if I install it, there are 5 and 6 devices, and each and every device is having its own IP, and if there is a network between them, then that is a example of private network. So the idea of NAT is network address translation. What is the idea of network address translation? The idea of network address translation is to allow multiple devices to access the internet through a single public address. To achieve this, the translation of private IP address to a public IP address is required. So, network address translation can be defined as a process in which one or more local IP address is translated into one or more global IP address, and vice versa, in order to provide internet access to local hosts. Also, it does the translation of port numbers. That is, masks the port number of the host with another port number in the packet that will be routed to the destination. It then makes the destination, it then makes the corresponding entries of IP address and port number. How the corresponding entries of IP address and port number is being made? That is also part of network address translation. NAT operates on router or on firewall. So let us go back to our slide, and there we will see definition. Network address translation. What is network address translation? Network address translation is the process where a network device, usually a firewall, assigns a public address to a computer or group of computers inside a private network. Network address translation, NAT, is the process where a network device, usually a firewall, assigns a public address to a computer or group of computers inside a private network. Just now I have explained what is a private network. This is the diagrammatic representation of network address translator. Translates between local address and public ones. Many private hosts share few global databases. Like there are in this diagram there are two networks which are shown. One is private network and another is public network. Private network uses private address range or local address, whereas public network uses public addresses. Now, private network local address may not be used externally. Local address may not be used externally. What does it mean? It means that those addresses are not shared outside with anyone. Public addresses are globally unique. These addresses are globally unique. So, there is no change in address. Let us go to next slide. Network addressing term. Inside local, inside global, what does it mean? Inside locals means private network and inside global means public network. When we are talking about inside global, it means public global. The term inside refers to an address used for a host inside an enterprise. It is the actual IP address assigned to a host in the private enterprise network. Okay, this is the concept of inside local. If there is any confusion, then you can ask. Else, we will move to inside global. What is global? Network address translation uses an inside global addresses to represent the inside host as the packet is sent through the outside network, typically the internet. A NAT router changes the source IP address of a packet sent by an inside host from an inside local address to an inside global address. It means translation is being done from local address to global address. So this translation is being done. If NAT runs out of addresses, what does it mean out of addresses? That is, no address is left in the pool configured, then the packets will be dropped and an Internet Control Message Protocol ICMP host unreachable packet to the destination is sent. Now let's go to next slide. Inside, outside. Wait. Yes. Inside, outside. What is that? Inside means my network. I can configure it within an organization, within my house also. Like this is packet source address, inside local and outside the rest of the world. With the help of router, we are doing network address translation and connecting my network or inside network with outside or the rest of the world network. This we have already seen. Inside, outside global, outside local. What is outside global? The term outside refers to an address used for a host outside an enterprise, that is the internet. And outside global is the actual IP address assigned to a host that resides in the outside network, typically the internet. Now what is outside local? NAT uses an outside local address to represent the outside host as the packet is sent through private network. It means NAT does the network translation from inside local to outside. Inside refers to the addresses which must be translated, and outside refers to the addresses which are not in control of an organization. These are the network address in which the translation of the addresses will be done. Diagrammatically, network address translation is shown. An IP address is either local or global. Local IP addresses are seen in the inside network. This is the diagrammatic representation how inside local IP address 10.0.0.1 when it is connected to internet, or outside local, that is inside global IP address, it is allocated the IP address 171.69.58.80. Similarly, 171.69.58.81. This is another translation. Types of NAT. What are the different types of NAT that is used? Static NAT, dynamic NAT, and overloading NAT with PAT, NAPT. Now, let us see the definition one by one, or let us see in detail what is static NAT. So before going into that figure, let us explain what is static NAT. In static NAT, a single unregistered or private IP address is mapped with a legally registered IP address, that is one-to-one mapping between local and global addresses. This is generally used for web hosting. These are not used in organizations as there are many devices who will need internet access. Also, this is generally used for web hosting. Whenever we do web hosting, it is needed. These are not used in organizations as there are many devices who will need internet access, and to provide internet access, the public IP address is needed. Suppose if there are, say, for example, 3,000 devices who need access to the internet, the organization have to buy 3,000 public addresses, because for each and every inside private address, the transmission, the translation needs to be done. Up to this point, if there is a confusion, then you can ask. I'm stopping for a few minutes, a minute or two. If there is any confusion, then you can ask. No confusion up to this point? Okay. Now dynamic NAT. What is dynamic NAT? In this type of NAT, an unregistered IP address is translated into a registered IP address from a pool of public IP address. If the IP address of pool is not free, if the IP address is full, it is not free, then what will happen? Packet will be dropped as an only a fixed number of private IP address, and they can be translated into public addresses. Now, let us go to transmission media. There are two types of transmission media. One is guided and another is unguided media. Guided media are wired mediums through which transmission is being done. There is a maintenance cost also. Also, if we compare unguided media with guided media, the efficiency, the cost infrastructure of unguided media is much better than guided media. Guided media is nothing but a wired communication, like twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, fiber optic cable. And in unguided media, there is radio, microwave, and satellite. This is the diagrammatic representation. Network, device, information. Server, a computer that is set up to host files that can be accessed by other computers on the same network or over the internet. Hub, the hub concentrator amplifies all the signals that pass through it, allowing for the total length of cable on the network to exceed the 100-meter limit. Switch. An Ethernet switch is a device that provides a central connection point for cables from everything on the network. So this is the connection of switches. I hope all of you are aware about server, hubs, switches, routers. Routers are network gateways. They move network packets from one network to another network. Protocols from one network protocol to another. As necessary, routers select the best path to route a message based on the destination address of the packet. A bridge is a product that connects a local area network to another local area network that uses the same protocol, like Ethernet or token ring. Now, next is cables. Cables, they are wires that information or power can travel to. That is, these are wired medium for communication. They are used to either share information between computers or provide electricity from a power supply. So, information security goal. There are three major concepts of information security goal. What are they? Integrity, confidentiality, and availability. These are the main security goals. I will like answer from students. Atanu Manna, explain what is integrity. What is integrity in data communication? Atanu Manna. No answer. Sumit Kumar Shaw. Will you answer my question? What is the meaning of data integrity?
Don't know, ma'am.
Okay, so you have never heard about the term. Aritrika Das, have you ever heard about the term data integrity?
No, ma'am.
Anyone who can answer what is data integrity or integrity? Integrity is one of the major information security goals. No answers. No, don't write in chat. I am not able to see chat every day. Wait. Data integrity refers to overall. No, don't give such definitions. These definitions seem to be a bit copied. You can explain it, terms also. And please try, just unmute yourself and speak. That will be better for me. Since I may not watch chat all the time. So data in the context of networking, data integrity refers to overall completeness, accuracy, and consistency of data. So data integrity must be imposed when sending data through a network. This can be achieved by using error checking and correction protocols. So this is the concept of integrity. Confidentiality and availability. I don't think any one of you don't know these terms. Confidential means some monetary transaction, they are confidential. And availability means data is available. For example, if you want to look the say the weather condition of one tourist place where you want to travel, you will be able to look for the data over net. That is availability of data, that the data is available when the data is fully available. Data for working purposes, data must be fully available. Security goals. These are security goals. Diagrammatically, you have seen. Data confidentiality keeps data and communication secret. Secrecy of data and communication is required. Data integrity, protect reliability of data against tampering. Can we be sure of that source and content information? That is integrating the data from different sources to one place. System availability, data or resources should be accessible when needed. Protection against denial of service attack. Now these are the security goals. Types of security: computer security, network security, internet security. So first is computer security, generic name for the collection of tools designed to protect data and thwart hackers. Thwart hackers means to move out the hackers from illegal access. Then network security, measures to protect the data during the transmission. And third is internet security. There is some voice coming from someone's end. Everyone stay muted. Okay. Internet security, it measures to protect the data during the transmission over a collection of interconnected networks. Network security and internet security, they both sound same, but they have different meaning. Network security means measures to protect the data, whereas internet security is a measure to protect the data during transmission over collection of interconnected networks. Thank you. So for today, I think we have already studied. If there are any questions or doubt, then you can ask. Is there any question or there is any kind of doubt?
No, ma'am.
You people don't have any question to ask. I think everything is
Ma'am,
yes.
বলছি যে এই সাইবার সিকিউরিটির জন্য কোন বইটা পড়বে একটু সাজেস্ট করবেন?
এখন তো বইয়ের থেকে তোমাকে ই-বুকসতেই যেতে হবে, বুঝেছো? আর তাছাড়া তোমরা একটুখানি মার্কআউটে দেখো মাঠে, I don't remember the name right now. মার্কআউটের সিলেবাসে দেখো, ফার্স্ট একটা বইয়ের নাম দেওয়া আছে সাইবার সিকিউরিটি, সেই বইটা খুব ভালো, বুঝেছো? এছাড়াও all of you search over internet, there are several ebooks which are available. Also, all the topics are explained beautifully. Now, up to now, you are just going through network and technologies as per your syllabus. So maybe from tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we will actually start learning the cyber security concept. But since cyber security requires working over net also, so these things are required. Okay. So I think, should I end my class? Or does anyone want to say anything? If they don't want to say, then I am ending my class. Goodbye for today.